Let's bring in Indiana Republican Congresswoman Victoria Spartz, who voted against removing McCarthy as Speaker. Congresswoman, thanks for being with us this morning. Yesterday was a surreal moment and day in American politics, the first time we've seen this happen in our 247-year history as a country. Just your reaction to the vote and America now being without a Speaker of the House.
Well, listen, we're living in very unprecedented times, so maybe it takes some unprecedented actions. And we need to show the Republicans that we do hold our leaders accountable. And the next speaker will think now, is he or she able to deliver for the people? And if they're not, this is not a replaceable job. Over 200 million Americans are eligible for that job. So I think that is an important message that people sent. I was supporting to give him another chance. I think finally Kevin was feeling that he really need to fight, but some other people felt differently, and that's why he was removed.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, Congresswoman, but you sound like you were in support of yesterday, even though you voted to keep him in place. Am I correct?
Well, listen, I would support to move the motion to the floor to consideration. We have to have regular order and rules. So I didn't support tabling. I think we have to have transparency, but I was willing to give Kevin another chance. I think he genuinely, at the end of all of this, he was trying to actually deliver. I think, unfortunately, he started too late, and I told him a while ago that it's going to end like that if he's not being more proactive. And it's not just him. The whole leadership team really failed. But you know what? It shows that Republicans are willing to hold their leaders accountable. If you're not holding them accountable, they'll never be accountable to the American people. So, I think it's going to be more deliberation, and another person will probably be much stronger to fight for the American people.
I know 8 of your Republican colleagues voted to end Speaker McCarthy's tenure: Biggs, Buck, Burchett, Crane, Gaetz, Good, Mace, Rosendale. I'm curious your take. Newt Gingrich, I'm sure you read this too, who was the Republican Speaker of the House from 1995 to 1999, wrote an op-ed in the Washington Post calling for Republicans to now expel Matt Gaetz, who was the catalyst for this vote. Do you agree with that? And if such a vote were to take place, would you vote to remove him?
No, listen, people entitled to their opinions and people entitled views, including Matt. I agree with some of them. I disagree with some. And he had his own opinions. And I think any rank and file member has a right to move that motion. And I think it's important for us to keep and protect these rules. That's the only way we're going to hold next speaker accountable. So I think, whether people like him or hate him, he had a right to do it.
Okay. The last question I have for you, Congresswoman Spartz, you're threatening to resign if Congress doesn't act on the national debt and create a debt commission by the end of the year. You've said you're not going to keep subjecting your own children to this kind of circus, but you've also said you're not running for re-election next year. So with only 3 months left in this year, do you anticipate that you will be resigning as threatened?
Well, listen, I'm not threatening. I just want to communicate that people understand that unless we do something meaningful this year, will be a circus with presentation. The rest of next year, everyone will campaign and fundraising. And I'm going to see who is going to be the speaker. And is it really a person that I believe I want to go in the trenches, and that person will go in the trenches with me to deliver? It's very important. There is a significant lack of leadership. We're governed by crises instead by leadership. And I think that's something that American people are sick and tired of that. So I always stay open-minded. And if I'm willing to sacrifice and I'm willing to fight, it's a great honor. But I want to make sure that we can deliver, and I work with the right people. So I just want to make sure that my voters know where I stand. It's important for me to be transparent.
Well, we will see how this all plays out from here, who the new speaker will be. Indiana Congresswoman Victoria Spartz, thank you as always for your time on this show. We do appreciate it.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.